Storyteller. Hello everybody, it is Craig, WhisperinStoryteller here, and I hope you are well. Well, here we are, the 6th of November, so we actually crossed over into November finally, and October is now behind us. And yeah, what a month October was. So back with you for a lovely, relaxing Sunday morning ramble. And of course, I hope everybody is feeling comfortable and relaxed. And check-in time to see how we're all doing, eh? So did you have a good Halloween? I hope you did. It was really just a work thing for me. I don't really do much for Halloween in my home life. I didn't put decorations up. I didn't. I don't know. I think if there was kids in the house, I'd probably make the effort. But yeah, it was pretty quiet, to be honest. But at work we did a big fancy dress event, and I dressed up, with me being a bit of front of house now, down at the front. I do a lot of the organising for a lot of the events that take place in the workplace, and I went as the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So I had this big top hat on, this lank black hair, a black suit with a cloak, and this ridiculously long fake nose. A lot of the younger people where I work was asking me, was I Pinocchio? They didn't really get what I was meant to be. But of course a lot of the older people saw me as the child catcher immediately. So yeah, it was good fun, really good fun. What did you do for Halloween? Did you get dressed up? Did you go to a party? Did you do fancy dress at work? Did you go trick or treating? Because let's face it, you can always take the kids out, or have a wander around the streets. Yeah, I've always wanted to be in America for Halloween. In fact, I have been in America for Halloween many years ago. But I've always wanted to have that American vibe, like you see in the movies, with all of the kids walking around the streets. And yeah, the USA really, really enjoy Halloween, or appear to enjoy Halloween so much. Here in the UK, we celebrate it. It's very commercialised now as well, but yeah, I think we've just kind of copied off the Americans a little bit. But it wasn't as celebrated as it is now back in the day. I think I've mentioned this on other videos, but yeah, I've always wanted that. I've always fancied being a part of that American vibe in American suburbia, like you see in the films. So many years ago, I went to Florida for a holiday, and we were due to go back home. Oh, I'd done Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. Have you ever done that? It was great. It was the year that they brought out The Thing. Remember they made that remake of The Thing that didn't do so well? It was that year, I think it was 2011 maybe. So we had to come back to England a couple of days before Halloween. And when we turned up at the airport, we found out that the flight to New York was cancelled because of snowstorms. So do you remember that time when there were snowstorms in New York City on Halloween? 2011 springs to mind, but it could be earlier than that. My memory. But anyway, there was 4 of us, so we ended up having to just find a hotel. We were asked to leave the airport because this was classed as an act of God. So we had to just find our own accommodation. We just couldn't board the flight because there was no flight taking place. So we ended up in this really crummy airport hotel, miles away from anywhere, and we were just waiting frantically to find a flight because we had nothing but dirty clothes in the suitcases because the holiday was actually over, and we didn't really have much money left, and we were on credit cards at this point because, of course, you spend your money when your holiday comes to an end. You don't anticipate getting in the airport and then finding out that you can't go home. So anyway, to cut a long story short, we eventually did find a flight that was taking place because, just to rewind slightly, this holiday was quite a cheap ticket because it was going via France to New York to Miami to Florida. So we thought, since there was no kids on the holiday, we would just put up with that, just the transfers, etc. But that turned out to be a bit of a nightmare in the end because of this issue. So in the end, there was one flight with 2 seats, so we and the other party flipped a coin, and they got it. So they got on the next flight to come back home to the UK, and we had to stay and wait for another flight for 2 seats. So that's how I spent Halloween in the US, in an airport hotel, miles away from anywhere. So I didn't really get the experience that I wanted. I wanted to walk around those lovely neighbourhoods in suburbia and just take in that Halloween vibe. It didn't happen. So anyway, that was a bit of a digression there from me, a bit of a story just about my one Halloween that I spent in America. But other than that, yeah, Halloween's great. I've had a couple of parties in the past, I've invited people over, etc. But you always find, there's a lot of cars kind of driving around the neighbourhood at the moment. It's kind of late Sunday morning, not as early as I normally do my rambles. But the world is kind of quite waking up around me. There's people, my neighbour is still doing DIY in his bathroom, and people are kind of doing things now, and it's quite an okay day today here as well. So we've got a bit of settled weather for a change. We've got the sun out, so it is rather cold, but people are just getting chores done because we've had nothing but deluge lately. Rain. That's what we get in the UK a lot, especially up in the north here. A lot of rain. And then, of course, after Halloween, we've got pumpkins kind of lying around everywhere. That's lying in gardens. People just put them outside the door. And they're starting to kind of rot and go all soft now. So I saw a news report saying that there is this misconception that if you put your used pumpkin in woodland, the local wildlife will feed on it. So that is hedgehogs and squirrels and badgers, I guess. But apparently, according to the news, that isn't the right thing to do because pumpkins can really give them a lot of issues. I'm not quite sure what the issues are, but it is health issues, apparently. I didn't know this either. But also landfill. So if we throw all of our used pumpkins in landfill, it causes a lot of methane. A lot of methane gas as they start to decompose. So that now they're asking for people to just simply chop up their pumpkins and let them just rot in the garden. They will just dissolve, but don't kind of put them in landfill. I'm not sure about that one, but that's just what I read on the news here. What do you do with your used pumpkins? I actually didn't get one this year. I just used a plastic one. I think it was, you saw it over there in the background, but I just got a plastic one. But the year before, I had a real one kind of in that corner. And that started to go all mouldy inside because I had it in this room for a good few weeks. And I used to light it. It looked great. It actually looked fantastic, but it started to go mouldy very quickly. So, and pumpkins have got that smell when they start to go all decomposed. They have that kind of odour about them. Yeah. Okay, and then we had Bonfire Night in England and the rest of the UK. So I know I did a video all about Guy Fawkes, which explains why we celebrate this 5th of November. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. After last week's nightmare, last Monday, I'll tell you all about that in a little bit. But I was saying about Bonfire Night. So we went to a local fireworks display, me and my neighbours, very good friends, and we had a walk up, it's only a couple of miles up the road or so, and it's a big rugby place, a rugby club that kind of has a firework display and a lot of street vendors with hot dogs and burgers and that kind of stuff. They had this kind of weird Harlequin mime group, faces painted all white, but they were like a troupe who were performing to a drum beat, but they were very good, very creepy, and yeah, they were there for quite a while. They were doing kind of routines for hours and hours and hours, and the firework display wasn't too bad at all for just a local event. I think we paid £6 to get in, and it was all cash only, and my neighbour had to kind of loan me the cash because I rarely carry cash anymore. I tend to use my card, my contactless, but there is still some places that only accept cash. You don't come across them very often, but it does happen. So for anybody in the United Kingdom, how did you enjoy your bonfire night? I noticed that Scotland are trying to kind of make it harder to use fireworks. And no doubt England will follow suit, but yeah, the whole bonfire night is definitely changing. We don't do kind of local bonfires now. They're all organised events just because of health and safety now. So it doesn't happen like it used to when, I was really young. Maybe it's going to die out, who knows. It might be one of them traditions that just kind of fade into nothing. I mean, it's still quite big here, especially with all of the events taking place, but it's now kind of illegal to, like I said in the video, to have a local bonfire where everybody just contributes to clearing out their house of furniture or rubbish that they don't want. You just burn it on the 5th of November. What else has been going on? What else? 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 I went to the dentist. So for the first time in 4 years, I managed to get back to the dentist. So this all happened accidentally. 2018 I was going for my regular checkups, but then in 2019 I was made redundant from my long-term job, and I went travelling. So I went to the US, I went to Australia, had a few holidays, really relaxed and had a look. I even went around the United Kingdom. I saw some great places there too. But then COVID meant that I couldn't, get back to the dentist. There was no appointments. You couldn't mix with anyone. It was only emergencies only. So I couldn't get there. And I have not got bad teeth really. They're pretty much, I'm lucky enough to have okay teeth. However, fillings start to drop out and teeth might crack a little bit. Just everyday wear and tear as you get older. So then I found I had to wait until October before I could get an appointment. That is madness. I just couldn't believe it. 10 months before I could get an appointment. Mind blown. And I guess it's just the backlog of sheer patients that the dentists need to see that's been on hold for the last 2 years. So I waited, and I finally got into the dentist last week. And I've got a course of treatment now for a few repairs, for what I mentioned, the fillings and etc. And I've got an appointment on the 19th of December for the first round of treatment. That's kind of right on Christmas, but hopefully it shouldn't have any impact. I'm expecting it to be one day, with the numb mouth. But I must get this done because I really do like to take care of my teeth. Don't get me wrong, I haven't got the best teeth in the world. But they're alright, I guess. They're not too bad. There's worse than this, and of course there's better than this. What else has been going on in my world? What else? 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 The cat. The cat features quite a bit in these videos. The grumpy cat, Flossie, who's downstairs now. She used to spend time up here with me, she used to have a little basket here. And she used to just like to be around me doing the videos, and she used to just sleep. But she's getting old now. She's nearly 17 years old. So she sleeps a lot now, and she just stays downstairs. But she's such a lovely, lovely, gentle cat. But I took her to the vet because she had a milky disc on her eye that I was just a little bit concerned about. Took her. It's turned out she's fine. It's just age, I guess. But they tried to scrape it. They numbed her eye, and they just tried to scrape it to see if it would come off. It didn't. So never mind, it doesn't seem to be causing her any real issues. But one of the other issues that I'd noticed was that her back end, her back legs, etc. were all matted with fur. Because she's a Persian cat, she has a double coat. So her hair kind of mats very easy and becomes all knotted. But she was really in a lot of discomfort with it, and she normally kind of grooms herself. She normally doesn't have any mats at all. But I was trying to comb them out at home, and she was very grumpy about it. And I think it's because she has arthritis. So she was in a lot of pain, so I was having to be very careful, and it was making me upset that she was upset, etc. So I took her to the vet, and the vet diagnosed her with arthritis in the back legs. So she now gets this injection of Silencia. I think it's called Silencia, but she gets it every 4 weeks, and it is a drug that is injected into the cat or the dog, and this kind of acts as a really good pain relief, and it's got very little side effects, but the vet did say it is a pretty new drug that they're using. But Flossie seems to be not in pain at the moment. She's very more relaxed and very open to being brushed, especially on the back of her legs, etc. But what I have noticed is there's a lot of muscle wastage in her back legs, probably due to being inactive for so long. So she really has trouble climbing up on things now and jumping around like she used to. But as long as she is happy, that is the main thing, yeah? I mean, we love our pets. Our pets are, our children. If not an extra child, if you already have kids, you do love your pet to be part of your household. Do you have any pets with any age-related issues? What have you done with your pet? Be good to kind of know from your point of view. Oh, yeah, there's something else. My next door neighbour on this side, who I'm also really friendly with, she's got a new puppy. And this new puppy is a Shih Tzu. And she is absolutely gorgeous. She is the runt of the litter, meaning that she is the one that was left behind. I think she's the youngest and the smallest of the litter. But she is absolutely a proper darling. So I took her for a walk yesterday, and she just kind of bounds along on her little puppy feet, really full of enthusiasm, and when you shout her name, she comes running, and she's always happy to see you, and wags her little tail, and she's an absolute joy. She just wants to play all the time. She's got cuddly toys, and it's kind of become her uncle, if you like. So I live next door to her, and I'm going to be kind of taking her out for walks and things, and maybe even looking after her from time to time, because my neighbour looks after the cat when I go on holiday. I give her the key, and she just comes in and just checks on her and feeds her, gives her water, that kind of thing, and maybe just a little bit of attention. But it's nice when you have that kind of neighbourhood connection. You've got that support system. I think it really means a lot to have that, and I'm blessed with really good neighbours. I've had some bad neighbours in the past, but I'm blessed with great neighbours. It's a lovely street to live on this, and we all kind of help each other out. From my other neighbour here, kind of loaning me cash to get food and a few drinks on a night out. And then, obviously, we've got a bit of a pet support and everything going on. It's really nice. Do you have that kind of level of support with your neighbours? So anyway, last week, let me tell you about last week. So my idea for a grand finale for Halloween was to release my audiobook version of The Thing. This is the John Carpenter version from 1982. If you're a movie buff or a horror movie buff, that needs no explanation. It is a classic of the genre. It took a while to do, but I got through it, 12 hours. And as I was editing the story, so I've kind of got it into chapters, and I wrote it as I watched the movie. So I kind of paused it, wrote it up a little bit, played it again. It went on for months and months and months and months and months and months before I got it finished. But then I noticed it didn't have any visuals to go with it. Do I just have a blank screen where you would listen to the story? started to overthink a little bit, and I thought, would people want that, or would they want to watch something while I was telling the story? So I then started going through the movie, taking stills, like I did with some of the other videos I did, which still performed really well on my channel, and The Shining being one of them. But it was nearly midnight, and I hadn't even really made a start. And you know when you get that kind of plodding tiredness, where you're just going along with the motions, but you've lost the spark that you had 12 hours earlier. And I was thinking, I'm so tired, I need to go to bed. So tired, I just couldn't focus anymore, but I had this kind of like drive just to keep going until it got finished. But then I thought, I could be here at 3 o'clock in the morning, still kind of looking to patch it up with the stills from the movie. In the end, I just thought, I'm just going to apologise, and I know you guys don't mind one bit, and maybe just waiting that extra few weeks might make all of the difference. I'd rather be happy with it, because I still needed to tweak the sound as well. I think I was just trying to wrap it all up really quickly before Halloween came along. But I've just parked it for now, and I'll go back to it very soon and get it finished. But I did put quite a lot of content out for Halloween, with spooky kind of content. I hope you did enjoy it. I had a great lot of fun making it. And of course I've introduced this Did You Know series now. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? All about different things, different people in history or events or places or whatever, movies, books, it could be anything. I'm going to keep that going actually. I really enjoy doing it, and it gives me a break from kind of recording rambles every week, because there isn't always kind of things to update you on, if that makes sense. I mean, making these rambles is one of my easiest tasks, to be honest. It's just a freewheel. I just write down a few things to talk about, and we talk about it. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm planning my Christmas content now, and I've got a couple of hopefully, I'm not going to sort of big it up too much, but I've got a really good couple of projects that I'm hoping to bring to fruition in December for Christmas. Exciting, and it might involve somebody else, but I will keep things under wrap for now and let things happen first before I start telling you more about it. And of course my other channel, Wookie Video, I am just trying to get some rights first before I can start using some images. So the video shop backdrop that I used, I just need to ensure that I can use that, because I do need to have a kind of a backdrop for the video. And finding a backdrop for a video store is really hard. I wanted an authentic looking video store from the 1980s as my Wookie Video backdrop. So the one that I want to use is a guy who's converted his basement into a video store. And he's based in the USA. And I've reached out to ask him if he would mind if I just use a picture as the backdrop, waiting to find out. So just finalising things, but I've got 4 episodes ready now, and they come on really nicely. A nice energy, a nice pace, and it's a love letter to a bygone era of video rental stores, which was the era that I kind of grew up on. So yeah, that, I don't feel I'd ever kind of run out of ideas. It would run itself as long as I just keep creating the content. So I'll keep you updated on that very soon. So folks, we've come to the end of the road on this particular listening. And a reminder as always, if you want to send me something, want me to open something, I have a PO box, and the PO box is in the description below. I'd very much like to receive some of your items. It would bring a lot of fun and something different to the channel. I also want to thank everybody for subscribing, and continue to subscribe if you enjoy this channel, if you find it relaxing, it helps you sleep. Subscribing just really helps me to connect with you, and it shows that you enjoy the content that I'm putting out. So a subscription is always like giving me a hug and saying thank you. So I do appreciate all my subscribers out there for continuing to visit this channel and keep tuning in. And of course, anybody who wishes to help me run the channel, not expected of course, and certainly optional, is to help me fund the channel. So there's a donation tab in the description below. Anything is gratefully received, big, small, but again, you don't have to do that. It's just if you'd like to, and you can, of course. But I am going to leave you now and wish you all a very, very good night. Sweet dreams, and I will see you all very, very soon. You take care.